Hey y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and today I'm joined by Squeaks. Squeaks!
Dang, you caught me off guard right there. I didn't know how to act.
I tried to take it from you.
You did. Like mid of my squeak, I had to stop and stutter for a second. I was like, hold on, what?
I love it.
I like that.
All right, so today we're going to be, yeah, of course. Today we're mostly doing reviews. Of course, we had the Penguin, Agatha all along. We got Warhammer 40K, that's you. But we're going to start off with, a show and tell. Basically, we're going to be doing show and tell. We're going to be seeing what is your latest fandom purchase. Squeaks, are you ready for that? Do you want me to go first? Look at him searching around his room.
Go ahead.
His room is like a shrine.
I just literally bought some shit yesterday, so yeah.
Isn't that insane?
Okay.
All right, so while you're getting your stuff out, I'll say mine then. I bought that 3D printer that's over my shoulder, a resin printer for our D&D. That's my latest purchase. And I have been practicing painting the minis that we use for our D&D session, which, by the way, we have a new one coming up this weekend. And so there's the owl bear that you guys fought, and Jonathan wiped out with water. Yeah.
Damn.
From and then here's his master.
It looks pretty good.
Here's Hobbledoss, his master, the wandering salesman. Yeah, I know this is not great for a podcast. And then this is the guy that showed up at the end and just straight up killed that harpy.
This motherfucker.
So yeah, that's my whole thing right now is just making minis for your guys' D&D campaign, which I am very ready for the next session. So.
Okay. There you have that. This card shop. I was at a Lorcana League tournament yesterday, and it's hard not to buy anything there because there's just so much. So with this, I'm gonna show this off too. My new dice tray. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I just bought D&D shit yesterday. So they have this mystery little bag. Let me grab this bag real quick. 1 second, guys. So they have this mystery little bag for D&D that you get that comes with a little sack, a random set of dice, and like this medallion type thing. So here's my sack. I'm showing my actual D&D dice sack, not my actual ball sack. Okay.
The YouTube people are going to see it.
Thing here. Yeah.
Oh, that is actually like.
And the dice that came with this. Yeah, it's nice. The dice that came with, it's hard to do on camera, but it's just like translucent, see-through, bluish, purplish. So it came with a whole set of that. And then my medal, which is kind of cool because I think this is more paladin. It's hard to sell here, but it's a helmet.
Oh, nice.
And it says channel. What is it? Divinity.
Channel Divinity.
Yeah. And then on the back it has the D&D logo. So funny that we have D&D stuff to show off here.
Yeah.
I love the mystery stuff. I usually buy some mystery dice on Amazon for like $11. But this thing I've been eyeing every single time I go to the tournament. By the way, I did horrible yesterday. The tournament. So like that. And then I was like, you know what? I have to do this. And it was like $20 and you get the 3 things. And I'm like, cool. I love it. It's fun. It's cool. I'm glad I got a cool set of dice. So yeah.
That's dope.
Look at this.
All right, guys. So yes, it is show and tell this week. So head to our social medias, guys. Show off what you guys have been buying for your fandoms. And we'll be posting both of these as well. The only really news we're going to be talking about is Netflix's Geek Week. It's their attempt at a Comic-Con where they like celebrate their stuff. It's becoming mostly about anime nowadays because it's kind of the thing they do. But let's go ahead and go over a couple of the big hitters for me. My biggest thing I'm excited for is Arcane Season 2. They announced that it's going to be releasing in 3 parts. November 9th, 16th, and 23rd. You watched Season 1, I presume, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Season 1 got me back to playing League of Legends with the whole League of Legends keyboard and mouse pad. Oh, yeah. No. The headset didn't come out of nowhere, guys. Okay.
So we know that season 2 is the end of the series. Do you think they're going to continue making stuff in the League of Legends world? Because there's so much lore to go.
There's how many characters, how much lore. The video games are already expanding now, which I don't feel like gets enough traction. I don't know if that's just like a Riot marketing, whatnot. But
I think it's their audience is more Eastern than Western now for Riot. It was Western, but now I think it's more Eastern. Is why they get more attention over there.
Okay, makes sense because a lot of these games I have to like find out on my own, by searching or whatever. It's not just like presented to me. But hell yeah, right? How many characters are there? Let's go to this was like a let's go to make it different feels of like you could do the pirates with Misfortune, Gangplank, right? You could do maybe
Of
Knights
course,
with Garen. You know, it's all over.
I
the
would love to
place.
go all Demacia and Noxus
Heck
war.
yeah, man.
Like those two have been at war forever now. And then you have like Swaim, the leader or one of the leaders. He's like the torturer really for the Noxus versus Garen, the leader of Demacia, and then you got Jin Zhao on one side, and that would be so cool.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
So, I think with the success of this series, shit, that would be ridiculous to stop thinking of this.
Yeah, and it's some of the best animation I see that Netflix does because they do a lot of animation now to the point where I think it might be a detriment to the actual platform. But nevertheless, this is some of the best stuff they do. I think it's on par with that Spider-Man stuff. So, props to them on Arcane, and I'm looking forward to seeing Arcane too. We also have our Toph now. Mia Ketch is going to be playing Toph Beifong for season 2. One of the things that we were all wondering at the time when they're going to be casting Toph is, will they go with a blind actress? They did not. Do you have any thoughts on that, or you're just like, hey, you're the best for the role, go for it?
I think it's best for the role. On top of, is she capable? Well, obviously she must have done something that honored / like did a really good job of being a blind person, right? When you had to audition for this. So I think, it's best for the role. If it was an actual blind person, then yeah, I get that. And I think it's super important that maybe it's not being seen nowadays. We're doing a lot of CGI, is that representation as well. So I feel like TV and movies are power. So I can see if you got a real blind person to do it, then honor that on top of being how authentic Toph will seem in the series. Yeah. Obviously it's not. And we got someone that hopefully can portray that role very well. And kick ass at it, man. I think if you had to put the two together, like say if you got an actual blind person and not, but one, was just a better actress, then I mean, honestly, I want the best for the job. That's just how I always am.
That's fair. So. I think something about Toph, she's so important for a representation of women, for the blind community. She's just, honestly, let's be frank with it, she's freaking badass. And so it's important that she's done very well. Very few shows have a character that comes in on the second season and is on par with the main character of the show. And I think Toph is one of those people. So the actress that they're going to pick for the live action version needs to be able to hold her own as well. And from the look, Mia looks a lot like Toph right off the bat. I even found one picture I used for our social media where she's actually doing almost like a karate pose or a kung fu. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm completely unaware of what it is, but she's doing a pose. I'm like, that is going to be cool in live action. So we have our Devil May Cry. What do you think, man?
Oh man, I'm ready for this anime to come back. The trailer looks phenomenal. I'm so ready for Devil May Cry to kind of make its appearance back since Devil May Cry 5, really, right? 5, is what it left off on Xbox. Well, on everyone, really. I just played it on Xbox.
Yeah, like DMC, yeah.
Yeah, but the 5, I think it was the latest one installment. And what's interesting though is Johnny Bosch being the voice of Dante. And I say that because he's the voice of actually Neo. Yeah. Look at that. I'm typing that in and it pops up. The voice of Neo. So I think there's probably a lot of people thinking okay, well, that's kind of contradicting. Are we ever going to get to that timeline? Probably not, because this anime looks like his Devil May Cry from Devil May Cry 3, which is basically a prequel to 1 and 2 and whatever going forward. So I don't know if we're going to get that far as Neo, because Neo is more of like a 4 and 5. But I mean, it's also Johnny Bosch, who also plays like Bleach and Trigun and the second Black Power Ranger. I mean, this guy has a record of making bangers when it comes to his voice acting. So I'm not going to be super, against that.
It's kind of like going back to the Toph thing. Sometimes you just got to get the best person for the job to make sure that the role's nailed.
Yeah. So, and he did sound younger in the trailer, which I like because again, this looks like Devil May Cry 3, which is a younger Dante. So, yeah.
When do you think we're going to get, do you think this might spark it? Do you think we're going to get a new game soon? Because I think we're at the point now where we probably need a new generation of game. And I could even see them going kind of From Software, Wukong vibe.
Well, Devil May Cry 5, I feel like changed a lot from the other series. I feel like it's more controlled action instead of it was kind of like freelancing, almost like jumping on everything and shooting like crazy. So I feel like that shift to happen. I think this will spark something in that universe, hopefully. I mean, I'm always down for the Devil May Cry. So if this does, then heck yeah, I'm on board. Give me the collector's edition. I'm ready.
Do you think it could be? Do you think the series would benefit or be hurt by being as difficult as something like Elden Ring?
Oh yeah, I think it will. Yeah, that's a huge shift.
Hurt?
I think it will hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not. I wouldn't go far as Elden Ring, but we could shift it to God of War, maybe, because that was the craziest.
Oh, God of War is easy in my opinion. Yeah, I'm just saying like that type of mentality a player goes into. Like I said with Wukong, like Black Myth Wukong, where you have to be aware of the parries and dodges, or be wiped out. I think Kratos can take a couple hits before it's really a problem for him.
Yeah.
On the difficulty I play, anyways. I guess that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd be scared. Yeah, I'd be scared to see that ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a risk, but I think it could like set it up for a whole new generation. That's why I'm interested in it. Okay, let's go through a couple of these really quickly here. Just Squid Game's coming out December 26th now, so we have Squid Game 2. It sounds like that's the finale as well. Or no, season 3 is gonna be the final season for that. Magic the Gathering series, we got a little sneak peek with that. It's just an image, really, they released. For Magic the Gathering, I'm hoping that it feels like you're just following an adventuring party, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. Actually, no. I'm gonna go against what you're saying now. Actually,
okay, what do you think?
It needs to follow some of the planeswalkers, and I know like I'm gonna jack these names up because I can read them in my comic book. But Shander, whatever, the flaming female. I know everybody's yelling at me, whatever. But there's a crew that is in the comic book series, that are basically fighting Tesseret, I believe. And he's like this like evil sorcerer, you could say. So I would like to see actual planeswalkers be in this. I'm sure that's probably what it's going to be. You'll probably get some low level planeswalkers. Then you see like the big ones, like the I'm messing all these names up. Ajar, like the white lion, big buff human, like looking white lion. That's what I would like to see. I want to see like my cards come to life, and that's what I love so much about the comic books. So I want to see some of these characters that I play with actually see like a lore to them, essentially.
See, my look on this is I would rather it be no name nobodies that are experiencing all these different worlds at these, because a lot of these cards have very unique cultures to them that are like away from each other, right? So if you had this adventuring party going from place to place, then you're like, oh man, they're going to this one town that my card's from, and then you'd probably see your planeswalker there. But as long as your planeswalkers are interacting with each other, I could see that being cool too. My main thing is do not shoehorn this to one very small corner of Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
these guys have been building lore for decades now.
Yeah.
Make sure you show it off,
Would you like, you would like a no-name cast or characters meeting maybe like planeswalkers and going to these certain
that's what just because I think then they're as mobile as possible,
Yeah.
And,
I like that.
And if
like
they die, then they die.
Like,
it's not a problem.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Because then you go like it'd be cool to like they venture into like Strixhavens or whatever. Yeah.
I think the last thing of note I want to make sure to shout out is we have a first look at the back of Chopper for One Piece Season 2. And this made the rounds all over social media. People are losing their mind for this. How much of the anime have you? I know you've watched some of it. You definitely have. How much of the One Piece anime have you watched?
I'm on episode 1 in the 120s, I think.
Okay, so not enough for people who like anime or One Piece. Yeah.
It's a slow process.
What do you think about this first little peek at Chopper?
I mean, just from behind the shot, I mean, it's perfect. Looks just like it, right? With the top hat, the antlers coming out of it, and you see a little bit of his ear popping out. So from behind, let's see. But hopefully, when we turn that camera around, it doesn't end up being like a Sonic moment, right? Where the fans have to just blow it up for them to make any changes to it.
I would like to see a little bit of the buff version too, and see if the CGI.
Oh yeah,
because when he's buff, he's going to take up a lot of the screen, and so that's important that he looks more like Hulk, not She-Hulk. So that,
Dang, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. You can't have Chopper in a live action without him having his buff moments, right? You wouldn't think they would wait a whole season.
Why would? Or it would at least be like the snap moment in the finale of the second season or something. Like they'd have to bust that out. That's like one of his, that's cool. We have a list of everything that was announced during Geek Week, guys, with all the trailers and clips and whatnot on our website, guys. So just go gfpods.com. You'll see it right there. Agatha All Along. Now, you have not watched Agatha All Along, obviously.
I've not.
Been a busy week. That's totally fair. So
Yeah,
I watched it. I loved it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Or no, I'm sorry. I gave it a 9 out of 10 on our website.
Oh, wow.
You guys can read my full review on our website. Yes.
These are first two episodes?
The first 2 episodes. Based off the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say that it is refreshing in a way that I didn't expect. I thought maybe it would have been kind of a easier, cheaper grab. I know this was in production before. A lot of the changes happening at Marvel right now. It feels so different in a way that's like, Marvel hasn't really done this before. I was telling you, Squeaks, before we press record, this feels like I'm at the theater watching a play, not a musical, a play, in the way that, smoke rolls in. Okay, did you watch Beetlejuice 2?
I have not yet. Have you?
Okay. Oh, yes.
We're supposed to watch it the other. Fuck.
Well, where are you at? That's what I wonder. Me and John watched it day one.
Yeah, man. It just came. Everything. Yeah, whatever. Been busy.
Yeah, I'll watch it again. But in Beetlejuice, I just said it 3 times, guys. But there is a lot of practical effects, like the doors opening up, practical effects, stuff like that. And that felt like this too, like how you'd see that on stage or whatever. A lot of practical effects. And, Marvel's not known for that. It feels smaller. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of really cool characters right off the bat. You're learning about the witch's corner in Marvel, and it's a lot more complicated than I thought and a lot more complex. Of course, on social media, we're already talking about who is, quote, the teen. Billy's the easy answer. Everybody thinks it's Wanda's son, Billy. But there might be others. We think it might be Scratch. It might be Agatha's son. It might be, because the MacGuffin to his character is Agatha can't hear him say his name or explain his backstory. Others can, apparently. Only Agatha can't hear it. And when he tries to say his name, a M comes across his lips that makes it where he can't talk. Yeah. She can't hear him. Let me correct that. So everybody's like, okay, it could be Maximoff, it could be, Wanda, or it could be Mephisto. So there's all kinds of things like that. And there's a character played by Aubrey Plaza named, she keeps saying, I have a black heart. Her name is really Rio, but she keeps mentioning that she has a black heart. Mephisto's child is Blackheart. So there's all kinds of wait a second. And we already know that Sacha Baron Cohen is going to be playing Mephisto. Yeah, that's who Sacha Baron Cohen has been cast as, which is what? You got Borat in the MCU, y'all. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, no, keep going. I will have questions after, but yeah.
Yes. Hey, if you want to give it a few more episodes, any of you guys, I'm going to make sure to do the end of the series review as we always do. We're covering every episode on Challenge Accepted. I just really like how fresh this is in a way, in the same feeling that I liked how fresh WandaVision was. When I'm watching those first couple, because I just rewatched it again. When I'm watching those first couple episodes of WandaVision, I'm like, man, this is Dick Van Dyke. Hey, this is Bewitched. This is so different. And then when I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, this too is so different. There's all kinds of hints everywhere. Kathryn Hahn is putting on a masterclass. And one more thing I'll throw in there before I let you go into questions. One of the biggest problems we have in all of superheroes lately, Venom is a great example of this. The bad guy is a good guy. And in this, Agatha's telling you right now she wants to kill everybody. She is...
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Even the people that are working with her, she tries to kill them in the first 2 episodes. And then they kind of outdo her. And she's not a good guy. She is out for only herself to get more power. And so it's that feels good to actually see Agatha stay a bad guy, not just be the new good guy.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask this one since it's fresh and I don't want to forget. Agatha being the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that'll stay? Are we seeing a little bit of turning? Because I'm tired of that shit too. You can't. I don't think Agatha will ever be the good person. I can see Agatha being the wielder of dark magic. Loki, but not fully Loki. Loki's even too good now. I mean, good, not too good. I really like Loki's now character. But I'll say one of my favorite characters is DC is Constantine. Constantine's constantly dealing with people that are not good characters. Yeah. But he uses them to go to good means. I think that's what Agatha will become. The character that, if Wanda's alive, or Fantastic Four could use her because, she babysits Franklin Richards. Something like that, like a bad person that you go to because they know the magic side of the world really well. And Doctor Strange is busy in multi-dimensional stuff. Yeah, I think so. That problem is that they don't know how to separate this anti-hero to just be a hero. Because right now, Venom is literally a hero, and that's a problem. He's literally a hero. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You got the baddest baddie in all of Marvel to just now save the world all the time. It's ridiculous. So that's
Yeah,
my fear. Is Agatha
Mhm.
going to turn into that, like, basically hero now instead of anti-hero? Like, you know?
They clarified that Agatha's main ability, which is something we didn't necessarily know for sure in the last in WandaVision. Agatha's main ability is if somebody shoots power at them, she sucks the power out of them. So that's like actually her like power, and that can't be used for good. Like that is establishing a villainous thing. So I don't think that they're gonna mess with that. And then just to touch it real quick, I don't want to change subject on this completely. With Venom, we know that Null's coming up in the third movie, which is the only time Venom is actually a good guy for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Man.
So I will say that, like, they actually did bring the bigger bad that made Venom a very good guy.
Yeah,
so
that was dope.
that's interesting to see.
That was dope.
Yeah. And I'm hearing Norman Reedus, by the way, for that character. I'm just throwing that out there too. For Daryl from Walking Dead.
I thought. I guess we did. Well, yeah, we don't really see him.
We don't
in the
know
trailer.
who's playing Noel yet. Yeah, we only saw a little bit in the trailer, and I'm hearing Norman Reedus was on set.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool, actually.
That would be cool.
I want to see him just like overreact like he does in Walking Dead, just like.
Oh, of course, I want to see like open doors with the Necro sword with all black. That's for a visual reference, guys. That was all for the YouTube right there.
It's like, come on, get over here, but he's got to overly wave people over.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so second one, huge WandaVision fan. All right, I loved it. I remember that shit dropped, and I was buying merch that same day, rewatching the episode 1 and 2, whatever.
It's incredible. I just rewatched it, thinking like maybe it's not as good as I remember. It is as good as I remember.
Yeah. Is this a series, or do you think people like me should still wait to see how, like, okay, is it worth my time, or is it one to where, like, man, it's about time I'm hopping back into this Marvel series universe?
Feel free to wait if you want to. It'll be there when you are ready to go in. I will say Wanda is in the first episode. So she's a dead body, actually. I'll just tell you that much.
That's how I like
you see, there's because in the first episode it's True Detectives essentially, and Agatha. We're spoiling stuff. It's a review, and you're deep in this. So
yeah, it's been out for a minute.
Agatha's doing this whole like True Detective thing. She doesn't know she is, but she is. And there's a dead body with black hands, like blackened fingertips, which Darkhold. Yeah. And then red sweater, hoodie on, and what was the other thing? Red hair on the when she actually gets to the morgue table. And then later on when she looks at the toe tag, appearing is W Maximoff or and then later on it'll show Agatha Harkness on there too. So it's like they're very much like Wanda's here. They're telling you Wanda's dead. We're not 100% sure Wanda's dead, but they're telling us Wanda's dead. So it will tie to WandaVision, there's no doubt.
Okay.
It already has. I mean, all the same townspeople, it's fantastic. I'm not going to spoil too much like that, but the townspeople from WandaVision are here. They're Agatha's neighbors, and she's the crazy lady that's like pretending to be, she's in the TV show in the middle of the streets. Like she's just the crazy lady.
That's cool.
So she's been doing, and it's been 3 years. And like, even when she mentions, cause she eventually like snapped out of it, and she's like throwing out Wanda's name left and right. And they're like, oh, we don't say her name. So the whole town's like trying to forget what Wanda did to them. It's good stuff.
So the town's released. So yes. Okay, they're just trying to get back to normal life then, essentially?
They're trying to get back to normal life, but remember, Wanda's house is there, and it was just the foundation, and on the side of it, it says, you evil bitch, or whatever, something witch, yada, 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 like talking. Like, they hate Wanda, but they're so afraid she'll come back that, like, they're afraid to even say her name.
Voldemort. Yeah.
Voldemort, yeah. And so then I'm like, okay, is Agatha, it's interesting to see what's going to happen with that. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And there is a horror element to this I didn't expect. It's more mature than Disney Plus has ever done so far.
So that's why I was sucked in after the first trailer. I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so dark, and it's got some like demons in it, and definitely the horror feel. More trailers came out afterwards. I'm like, all right, I don't think this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a horror play, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Phantom of the Opera, but like they leaned in on the Phantom. Because like at the end of the second episode, I guess, there is like this like Salem 7, I think they're called, which are like, it feels very much like Death Eaters. Not to say that, but like Death Eaters in humanoid form that are like hunting her down, and the way they move is very much okay, that's Japanese horror films you guys pulled that from. Cool.
Okay.
And then but even like I mean you get full bare ass Kathryn Hahn walking around too, so it's like, oh wow, I'm surprised they even did that on Disney Plus. That shows something coming up for Daredevil. You know how much they're stepping up their maturity levels.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Worth the watch, guys. Like I said, I gave it a 9 out of 10 just because it was incredibly refreshing, especially with the onslaught of some of the Disney Plus shows we've gotten recently. Echo and Secret Invasion. You know what I'm talking about.
I forgot Echo was a thing. Damn.
Yeah, so did everybody else.
Yeah. I don't even see that pop up on the Disney Plus app anymore.
Yeah, they're burying it. It's now on Hulu minus.
Yeah.
All right, our last review we're going to be doing is for The Penguin, which came out on HBO or Max if you're a modern person. What did you think about... My parents would probably still call it HBO.
Yeah.
What did you think about The Penguin?
I thought it was pretty phenomenal right away. It literally feels... I mean, I love that we're in that Gotham universe, but nothing about it feels like I'm in a superhero universe. This looks like, man, did The Sopranos or like Godfather just got re-released? Like, this is badass when we talk about these mob things, or different mob families. I thought like visually it was beautiful. I love to see that we still got those, like, to me, most popular like Gotham images, and one of them is like you got the train track above you with the little stores underneath, that, right? And it's all just dirty and shit. Like, man, it was good. Colin Farrell, man, just fucking daddy, man. He's one of my favorite actors of all time, and I know the makeup is phenomenal, but just the acting itself too. Like, what a fucking chameleon, you know?
I gotta throw out. Thomas said it really well. He says, "You forget Colin Farrell is playing this character. Yeah. Like, it's just Penguin. And that's so true. When I was watching this,
So like visually, it's great. I'll go into a little bit of like what I thought was pretty awesome about it, and one of it is like the Penguin. Okay, so when he goes to his mom's house, and your mom basically like stop being a pussy. He's like, you know what, you're right, mama. So then he leaves, but then he starts that war, and I thought one of the most like brilliant things that happened in the movie was Vic coming through, slamming that car into the Falcone family, and realizing like, oh shit, Penguin literally just plotted this massive thing, and I'm like not really going like really into it, but you know what I'm talking about. Where going to the jail cell, giving the ring to the other mob boss, having that,
I loved that
whole having that car being smashed into the Falcone family, with the finger being off of that dead body. I know you could probably, I don't know how much we want to give away, but whatever.
Nah, it's spoilers. I'll put a spoiler tag at the beginning of the show.
So when Vic ripped off that finger, left the ring at the jail cell, and it said "pay it back," I was like, oh my gosh, it was so nice to just not even realize that was gonna happen. Like, oh, he's gonna like start a war, and he's really not.
The 4D chess on that too is he goes to the Maronis, right? Falcones and Maronis. Am I saying that right?
Is it Maronis? Yeah. I thought it started with an S. I could be wrong. Whatever.
No, it starts with an M.
Okay.
But anyways, but he gives him that ring, and it's like, oh, I want to work for you guys, and it's believable. And I think he still kind of does in a way. He wants to leave the door open anyways. But then now it's like, oh, he's walking around with that ring on, which was on the sun, proving that it wasn't Penguin, it was him. And it's like, that's clean. That is so freaking smart. There's something about how, and I know this is the pilot and it's their first time doing something like this, so they probably just wanted to just hedge their bets. But it's something how this feels like a complete story in the first, 2 episodes or whatever? Or whatever we got. We got one episode, I think. But it feels super complete instead of just being like so much set. When we're normally watching a crime drama like this, it's so much setup that we don't have an end to anything. We're just like, by the end, they found the dead body. And it's this, like, no, man, if this was just a little mini movie, I would be, good. But no, this was actually a complete story, and I was satisfied.
You're right. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. That first episode, when it ends, is satisfying. Like, it doesn't leave, like, a cliffhanger for the next week. You know, like everything felt established, and I don't know if how if that's going to be continued going on, but man, I don't know. Like, that was great. That was great. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Huh. What do you think? So what do you got? Joe Maisel. I'm going to keep calling him Joe Maisel. I thought he was going to play a bigger role. Threw me off. Falcone's son.
Joe Maisel.
I was thinking Miss Maisel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he's so great at doing his thing. But man, I thought he was
Dude,
gonna be.
I'm watching. I'm like, where is this kid from? That's what it is.
Man.
He's such a nice guy in Maisel. Oh man,
except for
and
the
he's
cheating on
such
his
a
wife and shit.
D-rag
But,
in this. Well, it was the '60s.
Blame an era for him.
Yeah, when Penguin just went ahead and shot him, I was like, oh, this is different than what we would expect.
Yeah.
Like I planned on Penguin kind of like undermining him the whole way and then like shooting him in the final episode. Penguin shot him and then like it took like a 3-second beat and then it was like, oh no. He was even like, I messed up. And he kicked it a second gear. I thought it was a little jarring how he picked up that kid, Vic. It was kind of like, how do you trust this kid? You don't know this kid. It was weird how much he's immediately employing this kid. And it took me a while because he did it later on and I was like, oh, that's right. He did it when he first met him too. The kid stutters and has a kind of a speech impediment.
Yeah.
And so then I'm thinking, oh, maybe Penguin saw the deformity of the kid as, oh, you're on the, and everybody else ran away and that kid was stuck there. So maybe he sees like, oh, that's me when I was a kid or something like that. Yeah. I'm trying to kind of extrapolate why suddenly Penguin's like, that's my number one.
Yeah, I catch that. I thought about it as more like he's gonna finally grab someone. I thought, but it doesn't seem like that way at all because he talked about how he wants to be as like this leader, mob boss, where he knows everybody and they all say hi to him, and it genuinely feels like he has these conversations with people, and like what he explained to the Falcone's son. So that's what I thought, but obviously this is coming of like we've seen this before. Pick up the rat on the streets to like, bolster him up. Which that's my we're gonna see with it. It feels too
rushed,
low level. No, it just feels like we got, and I think that's what it is. I didn't think that we were gonna get a low level Penguin, like level 1 Penguin. I thought we were gonna get like maybe like one like established, and he has that club. He's running certain things, whatever, but not really. So it's different to see Penguin without a crew, I guess.
Yeah, and I just think it's easier for the writers to do it that way than having an established Penguin. And even what power he does have, they're stripping away from him in the first episode. So and the relationships he had too, they're negating that with the sister coming in, which I thought was a fantastic character.
Ooh, man,
I only know her as like Ted Mosby's wife from How I Met Your Mother, and like she's always plays like the love interest or some sort of like, I don't know, kind of a lighter character. She plays, a Zoe Deschanel type. Yeah. And she rolls in and commands the screen when you're going against Colin Farrell, who's portraying Penguin. That part where he's sitting in the chair and she's got him like basically pinned down. And I was like, oh man, she is owning this scene. Yeah. Matt, I'll go even back further too. When they're having lunch, I was afraid for Penguin. Like this girl can snap because of course she's the little things when they say like, oh yeah, I was in Arkham. Oh, that's Batman.
Yeah. I know. And then I went to the wife. She said something about her. I was like, well, let me lay it down on you, honey. She was in Arkham, and that's where they usually like the craziest fucking villains go. I'd like tell her. But yeah, man, like what you're saying, like owning the screen. I'll compare like Marvel and DC, whatever, when it comes to say like Agatha, whatever. The fucking actors in this show are like what this is like a movie cast, like this is legit.
It's DC's demanding that out of them too. Like Robert Pattinson, like it's one thing to just be the strong guy who's Batman, but if we go back to the Batman that this is the same universe, Robert Pattinson, I mean, he killed it in that role when he's just playing Bruce Wayne and you see him mourning his parents or whatever. Like he killed it in that role in a way that I'm sorry, but I don't think Ben Affleck really acted his way through that very well. He was awesome fighting, but not necessarily as a Bruce Wayne or a Batman. And Jim Gordon, everybody in that movie was fantastic. And I'm glad that carried over into this. Yeah. And they're keeping that standard high that, yes, you're right, Marvel doesn't necessarily need to do because people are just going to go to a Marvel thing. They don't have to earn their spot anymore.
And that's, yeah. So I want to go back a little bit. It's Salvatore for that Bob Boss and Jill. But
what's Salvatore's last name?
Let's see. Salvatore
Maroni.
Fuck. I mean, you could be right. It's not showing me. Whatever. But anyway, I'm not going back for that reason. I'm going back because of the cast. So you had the Christine, like you said, is playing Sophia. Colin Farrell. Clancy Brown is playing as Salvatore, whatever. Mark Strong as Carmen Falcone. I guess he's going to pop up. I don't want to do spoilers of it, but we got, Michael Zigan, which is the fucking Joe Maisel. He's always gonna be Joe Maisel to me. I love that
He's
series.
just Joe Maisel, yeah. Now that you pointed it out, I will never unsee it. So.
But then we also had the little scene where Penguin is talking at the table, and he's like, trying to pitch his shipment deal. Michael Kelly is the guy at the end of the table, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you see these...
House of Cards, man. He was so good in House of Cards.
Yeah, like you see these characters like, oh, these are real actors in this, and not just like where you're looking at Agatha all along and you get obviously the main Agatha and then the one other witch, Blackheart Witch, whatever. Like those are only two recognizable.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah. So the other for Agatha all along, the other ones they literally got from Broadway. That's the thing, you don't recognize them very often.
Okay.
They're Broadway. That's why I keep saying like it's theater for sure because they got Broadway actors for it.
Got it.
So Clancy Brown playing I'll just tell you right now, it is Salvatore Maroni. I looked it up.
There you go. Maybe that's why I said it started with the S because I kept hearing Salvatore. Yeah.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
And then I always, to me, whenever I remember like the gangster side of this, I always remember Gotham, the show Gotham.
Oh,
that was on Fox.
Yeah.
Or Christian Bale's Batman. And in Christian Bale's Batman, that's the one that he's holding up. It's Eric Roberts, where he holds him off to the side and he's like, oh, this won't kill him. He's like, it doesn't need to. And he just breaks his legs and drops him. That's the same character that's in prison now, played by Clancy Brown. So, I always love this corner of like mob boss area of Batman that doesn't get touched very often. When we start to explode things out into Mr. Freeze and whatnot, it's good to revisit it again and start hearing these names again because it's complicated.
Yeah, so we got Mr. Freeze for Batman too, right? Is that a confirmed thing? I keep hearing that. I don't know if it's a fan thing or if it's a confirmed thing, but I hear it very often, so I don't know.
If that's the case, then I want to hear like, oh my God, I just thought about it.
And I'm just splurging you right now.
So we know that drops are getting replaced by a new drug. What if they're like, oh, it's we call them ice pops, and we're using
okay.
We're using Victor Von Freeze for it or whatever to make these ice
tie
pops.
Into the movie. Okay.
Yeah. Because then when Batman 2 comes out, I want to see Penguin on top, and I want to see Victor Von Freeze, doing his thing.
Yeah. Real quick, unfortunate thing. Is this the only series we're gonna get for DC right now? Because I'm a little nervous. I'm scared to. I'm excited for what's coming with DC with James Gunn for sure, hands down.
Yeah.
But man, I really love this dark tone that they finally, I feel like, nailed with this Batman series, Robert Pattinson Batman, because it's something that just never worked before with the Snyderverse. This dark, I love the darkness in Snyderverse, but it just wasn't really there. Like it wasn't great. I'll just say that. And now we got something great. I'm like, oh gosh, are we done now with this, or what's going on? What do you think?
Well, I mean, James Gunn said he's going to let Matt Reeves keep going. Okay. This is going to be an Elseworld. So he's opening the ability for Elseworld stories to exist so that you can have these random, hey, if you really want whatever, a Taika Waititi led, whatever the heck, you can. It'll be an Elseworld one. It doesn't necessarily need to be attached to Batman Legacy or I'm sorry, Superman Legacy or whatever.
You think that'd be a hinder to DC overall, though? Like when you see Batman, like Brave and the Bold, and then you have this one. I mean, do you think
as long as the tones are different enough,
which one's better? Yeah.
And I'm fully on board with those conversations, and it doesn't matter if as long as the tones are different enough, because Batman Brave and the Bold, they already said, is going to be Bat Family Batman. It's not going to be this year one Batman.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We have not seen. It's insane. Anybody who reads modern Batman comics, not even modern, last 20-year Batman comics knows he is not a solo artist anymore. He is all about the Bat Family. Yeah. And it is some of the best Batman stories.
Yeah.
Batman, what was the last one that was like so cool? Like Batman, like 98 to 102 or whatever, when there was like the Joker war going on, and we got Punchline started to work. Like all that stuff was so freaking cool. It was like Catwoman might be marrying him, might not. Yeah. All that stuff was like a whole war going on in Gotham that you needed everybody on deck from the Bat Family. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to being able to do that now. But that will feel very different than Robert Pattinson year one Batman, where he has a motorcycle. He doesn't have the tools that like Bat Family Batman has, who has all the tools. So
and you can honestly nail that, which James Gunn should be able to do that easily with this whole like coming together groups, because that's what I feel like he does special with.
He does.
But that's an Avengers movie alone in one comic book hero, like hell yeah, man, give me that shit,
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see live action version of Nightwing and Red Hood and little Damon Wayne. Like all the Robins are so good, and we only get the one from Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And maybe we could consider Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a Robin if we want to really stretch the rules on that. But it's like he's such a dope character.
Yeah, I would love. I mean, it works so well because each one is a little different, right? Except for Nightwing and Damian might be somewhat similarities, but you got Red Hood and Batwoman or Batgirl. It would be so cool. You got
Very
that.
different.
You got that like I'm going berserk Hulk way, and then you got that Scarlet Witch on the other side. That's being her thing.
Yeah. And then what is Jason Todd? What does he call him? What's Jason Todd?
Red Robin? No. So
Jason
Todd is Red.
I know
Red Hood.
Oh, it's Red Hood.
Red
okay,
Hood,
what's the other one? Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake.
Yeah.
Which is the best of the detective side of Batman.
Yeah.
Like he's the most detective of all of them. And his suit is actually pretty cool. It's like that all brown suit. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm a huge like Tim Drake Robin fan. Like yeah.
Damon Wayne for me.
I
freaking love him, dude. So cool. I love how he's just like, screw you, Batman. I love how he's just is such a little asshole. It's great.
That voice just reminds me of a Robin with just red underwear on. Like I could just that. Man.
All right, let's throw a grade on Penguin. I am giving it an 8 out of 10. Strong 8 out of 10. Yeah. It's hard because I'm comparing it against other crime shows too, so it's kind of a double digit problem. Yeah.
I'll go. My only one thing that I didn't like, I was tuned into the story the whole time. I was locked in. It was even at times where much wasn't even happening. I was so locked into it. But when mine was the like picking some street rat up to whatever, like we've done that before. Yeah. So I'm gonna go 9 out of 10 because that's the only flaw I had really with it. Yeah. Yeah.
I totally can see that. Yeah. That was probably its weakest point, but picked a great villain and picked a great hero. Protagonist is a better term. Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. Make sure you guys check it out. We'll review when the shows are fully done. I know we're doing Agatha All Along on Challenge Accepted. I don't think we're gonna do Penguin, but we'll see. You've been playing a little game called Warhammer 40K. What is it called? Space Marines 2? Yeah, go for it.
What's something. I don't know. It's hard to even remember what the title Yeah, it's not like I've been waiting a massive amount of generations and years for this game to come out.
All of my TikTok feed right now. And all my reels with this. Yeah.
There is so much lore I know right now because of TikTok. So I'm not going to get into the story of the thing, but I will talk about the Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 is a game that other people need to take notes or other companies need to take notes on how to release a game and feel like it's full value. So this game, what I love about it so much is that besides the amazing campaign that it has, that continues from the first one, that it has its PvE and it has your PvP. That's the whole package, guys. Okay, give it all to us. That's what a game should be, right? I didn't know like this thing was a hard process now, just give me those three things. So, what I like a lot about this horde, bloody, gruesome, sexy as fuck game is that when you're playing the campaign, the PvE comes along as a different squad. So when you're playing the campaign, hey, Titus is back, baby. Like he's done being, I would say falsely accused, but whatever. From his imprisonment, he's back at war. But what he does is he leads a squad, but in a way directs a second squad. So when you're in the campaign, you're doing your thing. The second squad is you going back after the level, playing as the PvE portion. So you're getting that second side of it. It's not like this is separate DLC that will show that side. Like it's already there for you. The best part about that is it's not tied in to specific characters, but more of like specific voices in a way. So what I mean by that is that you pick whatever class you want. Okay. There's about, oh my goodness, on the top of my head, like 6 or 7 classes. I'm playing as a heavy now because other people were playing too much of a different class I was playing, but whatever. I'm playing as a heavy now, spent some time on it. And my voice actor will portray how the story is going. But that voice actor could be in any type of class. So it ties really well in like customer creation with like telling the story at the same time. Now, character customization is badass as hell. It literally feels like, am I painting my own Warhammer character?
That's been the consensus. Yeah.
Okay. So I get into, I love the lore of Warhammer. I'm not like a fucking crazy on it, but I did specifically, if people like know or notice or whatever, I do have, I'm an ultramarine. Sorry. Like that's the fucking thing I've always loved since getting into the lore of Warhammer. So I never like character off of like the what is it, like black scars or white scars, black Templars, whatever the hell, you know, and salamanders and chaos, whatever. So that was it. But I painted my helmet red, meaning I'm a sergeant. Okay, motherfuckers better recognize that. My blue armor, my helmet's red. Okay. So yeah, so it really feels like that. What you do is kind of unlock a certain like paintings for your like faction or chapter.
Oh, so you have to actually unlock them, huh?
A little bit. It's not very satisfying unlocking these certain things because they're only like unlocking logos essentially. So like,
I see.
You know, say if you want to be a salamander, you can unlock like the lizard head, but then other like little paintings that could go on it. It's not that great into it. The real customization comes into where once you whatever class you're playing, you unlock the uncommon and the epic and the legendary type of piece of like shoulder or your leg. So each piece is different. So it really does feel like you're putting a character together. Like if you're really playing Warhammer, different helmets, legs, whatever, even your weapons upgrade to have different images on them too. So I think that's like phenomenal how much you can customize the character. Now I know obviously a lot of things are going out right now that the customization for Dragon Age, right, is going wild right now. And I'm trying not to get into another game because I got the 3 greatest games that are out right now, which is the Black Myth, Warhammer, and World of Warcraft. I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
Dragon Age keeps popping up on my TikTok and it's pissing me off.
Dude, I'm like, I was watching class videos last night of the different classes for the game I don't own. I'm just like, okay, so I'm going to be a ranger.
I'm like, I'm going to be a necro sorcerer. So, yeah. Shit. We're playing this game together? Probably. Oh, my God.
I think so.
So, anyway, I don't want to get off top. But, okay, so, yeah, PvE is great. Following the stories. You continuously do it to earn XP to unlock, like, basically, what I like is it's not a loot system. You're getting this XP and it's rewarding you with the next, like, tier of gear. So, meaning when you log in and you play with different characters or whatever, it doesn't feel like, oh man, you got some badass gear, you spent some time in it, you got some cool boxes. No, when you see someone that looks really dope, it's because they spent that much time into that class to unlock that highest set of gear. So it's different. It's the loot system, but I like it. So like when someone like freshly looks clean and then they look at me and I'm kind of like suited up, oh, you know, like you're spending time in this class, whatever. PvP, like Gears of War type feel. I think a lot of people put that out there already. When it comes to shooting versus team deathmatch, whatever, that's great. I mean, I haven't played too much.
How does the combat feel? Does the shooting feel like Gears of War, or does that feel like Halo, or is it
yeah, definitely like a Gears of War feel, and I think that's part of that third party also, but definitely it's got the whole like, okay, so if I'm using just a normal pistol, no scope, you could kind of like zoom in just a tiny bit, you know, like the Gears of War would.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people say that this is like the first Xbox 360 game we've gotten in 10 years, kind of thing. I've been hearing that a lot. Whoa. That this game feels like a 360 game, not by visuals, but by how it's just like PvE, PvE, and PvP. Sorry. And then it's just like simplified in a way that is what we wanted. It's not bogged down by systems we don't want. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, perfect. And then it doesn't feel so cluttered as fuck. So I think of PvP, and one of the games is like Call of Duty, and I'm like, man, the screen is so overwhelming. I literally had to tell Daniel, like, Daniel, where do I go, dude? Like, this is wild. But everything's just clean. It's like you said, the simplified, and that's what it just works, you know. Everything about it is like really simplified, and it's challenging at times too. So if we're going back to not so much of the campaign, but when you're doing PvP or PvE, actually no, fuck that, the campaign too. I had to lower that level of difficulty. I'm like, what the shit's going on here, you know? Because the swarms get wild, and I think that's a lot of the times where people were doing the whole aliens swarms of hell divers going to like Space Marine kind of like memes, because at times you're just getting swamped with these swarms. And man, I tell you what though, when something is epic in that game, it is an epic. When you have what I love is it almost seems like it's like the fake stuff that you would see in a video game, but like, hey, there's a bunch of aliens climbing up this building, we need to make sure they don't get there. When all the aliens, they're like stacked on each other to get up to the building or the edge or whatever ledge, you shoot that like swarm and it goes down. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, you're looking at it, but you got to wait for them to come on the ledge, you know, like something.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's more dynamic. Like it's actually being affected by the damage you're putting out there.
Exactly.
It's not like a tower being made. It's like, okay, that's a tower. I can do damage to the tower. It's more
Yeah.
like I'm actually knocking them down. Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like you have to wait for them to come on the ledge to make sure they, you know, you can actually hit them. You know, it's not just there for cinematic. But speaking of environmental, like views, depths, whatever, man, this game is such a piece of art. Like, I swear to you, it feels at certain times that am I in the tabletop game right now? Like, there is just shit going on everywhere. Like, when you look at a tabletop, right?
Yeah.
You got the armies there and you're like, man, that's a lot of army going on, right? Like on both sides. It's the depth of like view or whatever. Like, there's a whole war waging in front of you. I mean, obviously you can't do anything with it. It's just there for views. But man, take a picture of that bitch and put that shit on my wall. This thing's gorgeous. Like, now, speaking of like image and stuff, I will get to like what I think is very like my cons about the game. And some of that is there's times where there was in the beginning where cinematic like CGI, like, you know, when you play an old game, you're like a PlayStation game, right? And you're like, oh my God, it's a 3D fucking scene. You know, that's what I always used to call them, right? When the graphics get a little better, you had a little bit of that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, old school, yes. Like, right? Like, splurge on me, Titus.
Right away, it reminds me. We were just talking about Devil May Cry, but it right away reminds me of that beginning of Devil May Cry when he's like sitting in the chair.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it was like, okay, guys, stop. Everybody pay attention. The cinematics going on. Don't you dare try to press hold down X. Are you serious? Yeah,
exactly. So then we got some of that. So that faded away after the first. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird because it was like a little bit of gameplay and then that happened. So I'm like, oh, okay, are we not getting that? Maybe it was just a big moment to where they wanted to up the graphics, whatever. So in-game graphics on certain cutscenes, I was having issues. I don't know. It's definitely got to have a patch come out for it because that shit turned down like it was a 360 game.
Yeah, just not optimized.
So yeah. I know I'm running on performance mode, but nothing in 2024 should go down that low to where it feels like I'm playing a 360 game. So I think that's just some patches that need to be tweaked out that will release. But it definitely does make me hard to focus on the story when you're like, what the fuck's going on in my game? This is weird. Like, it looks horrible.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then I think the button layout was a little difficult for me. I text this to you. It feels like I'm playing Elden Ring, but I have to button mash. So like I'm not used to like I'm going to use my melee weapon with the RB and then parry with the LB, but I'm also like making sure like I have the gun controls feel right. But a lot of the buttons on your controller, like A, B, Y, whatever, are like dodging, reloading, which is normal. But the combat, like fighting, because there's no like, and I think that's a positive. There's no like weapon switching except for like guns. Like you could jump into melee and shooting simultaneously almost. So I think that's maybe why it's there instead of like locking you into a set of controls that are for melee. And then, okay, I'm going to switch and then the button layout changes, you know? So maybe that's why it's
forcing
there.
you to use the entire map at one time, or the entire controller layout at one time. Mm-hmm. When a lot of times we would be like, okay, you press this button or whatever, select to switch over to melee or ranged.
Exactly.
Instead, it's letting you utilize both, but in doing so, you load that controller. It's how Fable used to play a lot of times too, where like Fable used to have to press a button to activate different spells, a different button to activate different spells. So it kind of feels a little bit like that.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
So that's just me. More time. I'll get used to it. But yeah, this game's a must, man. Yeah.
It sounded like you're freaking in love in it.
Oh man, I am. Man. It's just so gruesome and brutal. And when you get those parries, like a little alien will be jumping up at me. Perfect parry. You just grab that bitch by the tail and throw him down and stomp his head. I'm like, oh yes. but yeah. Did you have any questions about the game or you just review? Give us
I'm just now thinking like. Might have to do mature on this episode when I upload it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. My main thing is, does it feel like anything else that's out right now? And I know you keep seeing a lot of Helldiver stuff like that, and then you're referencing Gears of War. Does it feel like anything else that people can go pick up and play, or is it a wholly unique experience?
I guess currently it's a unique experience, but it's a nice to feel like it's. Like what I don't know, like it's bringing like what
360 thing
we should have
like
had. Yeah, it's bringing that back. And I don't know if there's anything like that right now has like that's hitting all those marks of PvE campaign and PvP. Unless you're playing World of Warcraft, you know, So, but
You know what,
yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a must. Like, don't even wait for that shit to go on sale. Maybe get it like cheaper on CD keys. Like, it's worth the money. 100%.
So let's say out of 10, what are you dropping on it? What's your score?
I'm doing let's see. I'm trying to think of something clever, but I'll just go 9 Space Marines. Yeah, I tried to think of something clever right away and I couldn't.
All right, 9 Space
shit.
Marines. All right, that's pretty good. 9 out of 10. As for Dragon Age: The Veilguard, are you a yes or no on that? Coming out October 31st.
I was a no. Because, like I said, I have the top 3 games right now, man. I don't need anything else.
I'm fully in World of Warcraft, so I know I won't play a lot of it, but I do want to, because one of my favorite voice actors, she's from Dropout, or they're from Dropout. Erika Ishii is one of the voice actors for this. I'm like, I want to play Erika's character so bad. I really want to be a ranger now that I've been watching a lot of videos on rangers.
Yeah.
There's a certain what's it like? It's basically a magic wielding ranger that can like shoot from super far. It's super cool. Anyways, yeah.
It looks great. Like the combat from I'm thinking of like Dragon Age 1 and Inquisitor, right? Inquisition. That I'm like, man, they like came with the times, because if it was like Dragon Age 1, I'm like, oh, I could hold off on it. Like I really enjoyed the game, but I'm like, I can wait, whatever. But man, this was like almost reminded me of Final Fantasy 7, how they did the remake where instead of selecting moves, it's simultaneously where you do the moves / fighting in real time.
I was about to say, it's like they went from Inquisition, old Final Fantasy, to this new Final Fantasy. That's what it feels like. But a Western RPG doing that.
Yeah.
Not an Eastern RPG where, sometimes it's just a different feel.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think
that might be coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to get a PC or a console?
Well, Xbox, is it cross-platform, you think?
I have it on it. I have every console, so you tell me what you're getting. I'll get the same.
Well, because then I was like, I could split it. Oh, well, I don't know. Are you that open? Are you spread that open?
Like, I'm not going to buy multiple copies. I'm just saying which system are you going to get it on?
I mean, the original plan was PS5, but what do you think?
PS5?
I mean, whatever, Yeah. Because the thing is, I family share, so for me, it's going to be cheaper if I get it on the console. So, yeah.
I was going to hit you up on that, by the way. Steam's doing family share now. Did you see that?
Oh, I did.
Yes.
6 people.
And it's 6 people. Is that what it is? Yeah.
That's all 6.
So we need to talk and get that set up, because
maybe we should.
Yes. I know Jonathan's sitting over there playing Raft all the time. We got to upgrade him too. So that'll be good. It's like Raft and Satisfactory's his entire library right now. Okay. Well, I have a secondary thing for you. Okay.
Okay.
Today when we're recording, guys, it's my football team Cowboys playing your football team Baltimore. All right.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's do a little bet on this, see who wins.
Okay.
And let's do you could totally change this.
Okay.
The winner gets to choose what class the other one plays in Dragon Age.
But I'm set. I'm set on what I want. Okay, you know what? Fuck that. Okay. How harsh would you, if I said I wanted to be a sorcerer?
I'm not going to make you useless. I'm not going to just like make you go healer type of thing like that. And then, like, you got to be behind me all times.
Okay, deal. Yes, good. Okay.
All right, there's. Come on, Cowboys, because I'm really looking at the Ranger a lot right now.
I know. I really want to play this. Like, you know what I love though about the classes is that how different you can make them. It almost feels like Diablo.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll say this. So you know how we were talking about how like they're not doing the old Dragon Age Inquisition stuff like that, but there is a spec in the Rangers that lets you basically play that way again. So it's it's there. Like the gameplay changes based off of what you're going to be playing as.
Yeah.
I went in as a maybe, and I'm now a yes. That's what just happened, guys.
I know. When the videos came out, and they're like, oh yeah, you could do this sorcerer. That reminded me of Diablo, where it's like 3 different types. I'm like, fuck, man, that's so badass. So I'm like, they took the Thunder one, obviously from Diablo 4, Thunder tank sorcerer. Like, okay, come on, guys, I know what you're doing there.
Well, I mean,
but
if it works, it works.
yeah. But I'm like, damn, man. Yeah, I think I'm locked. But yeah, okay, deal.
You think you're locked? You better hope your Baltimore wins.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go over some network news real quick. We are giving away Halo Season 2 on Blu-rays. Thank you very much, Paramount, for giving us 5 copies of Halo Season 2. All you have to do is send us one of your reviews for any of our Geek Free shows. Look at them. They're all right here, Squeaks. Oh, look at that. All them Halos.
That's cool. Yeah, sweet.
So yeah, all you have to do is send over a review, and you'll be able to get your hands on one of these Halos. And we have more movies actually coming out. We're gonna do digital next time, but we got an offer for some more movies. That's a little hint. That'll be
nice.
next month, and we're gonna be just making them rain because instead of 5, we got 15. That'd be pretty cool. Yes, Challenge Accepted is covering Hangover is the next movie that's gonna be covered at Challenge Accepted, and then we also have Agatha all along every week. Outlast Podcast is back for their season 11, my season 11, and season 47 of Survivor. Pretty intense, but that is a pretty big show of ours. Let's see what else we got. Who's Got Next Game podcast is continuing their tournament. Check that out. And Fandom Portals, just really interesting story actually. Fandom Portals, Aaron Davies is our newest show. Just covered Is a Knight's Tale ahead of its time and talked about how it was the thing that ushered in a lot of how MCU works and stuff like that. Very fascinating episode, guys. So check that out. That's over at Fandom Portals. Squeaks, what is your recommendation for the week?
Let's see. I want to do something different, which I don't have anything different because we covered everything that I'm really doing on this episode. My recommendation, you know what? I'll do something different. My recommendation is get out with people to play tabletop games. Okay, we do a lot of D&D, and then I brought up to another one with you. I play a lot of card games too, like Lorcana, which I know is not like tabletop, but card games. The reason why I say that is check out what something new might happen, which is I brought up to you this Critical Role thing that's going on right now. And my recommendation is to go check out something different and new and unique. Okay. I don't know how unique this one is, but I'm interested in trying it. I think they got a couple elements to the game that's different that I've yearned for maybe in D&D. It's basically a D&D like game. Let's just say it's a copycat almost in a way, but with different
it's a TTRPG.
additions, so yeah, that's gonna be my recommendation. A little different because other than that, Space Marine, Black Myth still playing, World of Warcraft. I mean, shit, like
join us on all of those.
Penguin,
So also Critical Role is very good to watch too. I'm a big Dimension 20 fan, so if you guys like to watch actual TTRPG, it's a really good way to get yourself excited about it. And Dimension 20 all day for me, so that's great suggestion all around, Squeaks. My suggestion is to be watching Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. I'm not finished with it yet. It's a 4-part series, and I put it on for 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Very lighthearted. It's over on Disney Plus, and it's pretty funny actually. It's very lighthearted Star Wars. And I've heard from parents, speaking of Aaron from Merv before, Aaron mentioned this, how it's nice to have a Star Wars that your kids can fall in love with, and that's what this is for, but also the parents can watch it and be like, I know that joke. So that's kind of what's going on with this. And we get Darth Jar Jar finally. So it's been a really good series so far. And once it's complete, once I finish it, which is already complete, once I finish it, I will make sure you guys get a grade for that as well. Yeah,
because that universe really needs that galaxy really needs to be rebuilt. So it's so crazy how much distaste I have for Star Wars right now. Like I am at like 0 on how much I give a shit about anything in Star Wars, which is crazy because I'm a Star Wars fan and I've watched all of it really like until recently. And it's just, man, I remember walking at Disneyland and I did not walk into Star Wars land at all until the night. So I walked all the way from like the front gate area to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And I got there and I was like, I don't even want to fucking be here. Let's just leave. That's how much
you need a break sometimes.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
I totally understand. I mean, you could overdo it. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, famously as World of Warcraft players, we famously take breaks all the time. You have to. Yeah, but the thing is, Star Wars is one of those things too.
The thing is, like right now, the last thing I really was like distasteful when it came to World of Warcraft was Shadowlands, and like the last 2 expansions have been pretty great. This one is just shit after shit lately. So
yeah, I would say Acolyte for sure
right now.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew's interesting. There's some stuff about Skeleton Crew I want to talk to you about off mic. Well, do you remember EO, Captain EO from Disneyland?
Yeah, the Michael Jackson.
You remember Captain EO?
Yeah,
exactly. There's a lot of clues. Somebody's been mentioning it, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. There's a lot of clues that Skeleton Crew is tied to EO somehow. So you have to see that. I know.
They started fucking dancing. Whatever. And Michael Jackson dancing.
I mean, to me, it's just straight up Goonies. But yeah, I will definitely say Acolyte was a slip up for them. It was just not very good. But Ahsoka I thought was quite good.
It's been the Rey series, I think Skeleton Crew might be like something that will come up for me, but
I have no interest in the Ray series. The Ray movie, by the way, it's not series. The Ray movie,
sorry, I didn't even think about that. I'm talking about the last trilogy. I have no fucking. I don't like. Fuck it, dude. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it does.
This is nothing good right now for me.
But I'm currently not looking forward to it in any way.
Yeah.
I am loving all the Dave Filoni stuff, and I think Ahsoka, I think, was fantastic, and everything Dave Filoni's doing.
I agree. Just put him back to direct everything, getting these other directors, please. You know.
Okay, just real quick.
No.
The stuff that's coming out that sucks right now were things that were greenlit before they gave Dave Filoni everything. So that's why it's not all the Dave Filoni stuff right now. So
okay,
I know I'm the optimistic one, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Tired of you being that way though.
All right, guys. Again, drop those reviews so you can get yourself a copy of Halo, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.